You must immediately assess your surroundings as your time machine's emergency systems power down. The Silurian air is oxygen-rich but dangerously cold. Check yourself for injuries first. You have only minutes before the adrenaline wears off and pain sets in. Treat any bleeding immediately. Your survival gear is scattered within a 30-meter radius of the crash site. Gather everything you can see quickly before darkness falls. The primitive forest around you contains mainly lycophytes and early ferns. None of these plants are safe to eat without proper identification. You need to find shelter within the next hour. The temperature will drop severely at night, and the Silurian period experiences extreme cold snaps. Look for rock formations or cave openings. These are your best options for immediate shelter. Avoid low-lying areas that could flood. Your fire starter is crucial for survival. The oxygen-rich atmosphere means fires will burn hotter and faster than you're used to. Be extremely careful. Gather any dry plant material you can find. The primitive vegetation will burn differently than modern plants, so collect extra. You must create a base camp within 100 meters of a water source. Look for moving water. Still pools may contain dangerous primitive organisms. The machete will be vital for cutting through the dense early plant life. The stems are tough and fibrous, requiring sharp, strong blows. Your paracord has 100 survival uses. Prioritize shelter building and creating snares for the primitive arthropods you'll need to eat. Watch for early scorpions. They're among the first land predators. While not as lethal as modern species, their stings can still cause serious harm. The blanket is your primary defense against hypothermia. The Silurian atmosphere creates extreme temperature swings between day and night. Use your whistle sparingly. The sound may attract primitive predators. Save it for emergency signaling if you spot rescue attempts. You must establish a daily routine within 24 hours. The Silurian day-night cycle is different from what you know. About 21, 9 hours total, create multiple fire sites near your shelter. The oxygen-rich air means fires will need constant monitoring, but will burn more efficiently. Your survival depends on careful observation of weather patterns. Look for signs of approaching storms and cloud formations. Begin crafting basic tools immediately. Sharp rocks can be bound to branches with paracord to create essential hunting implements. The first forests contain no edible fruits or berries. You must focus on catching arthropods and primitive fish for sustenance. Learn to identify the few edible plants available. Early bryophytes and some algae can provide emergency nutrition. Keep your shelter entrance small and defensible. While large land predators haven't evolved yet, sea scorpions can reach dangerous sizes. Construct a smoking rack for preserving any meat you acquire. The high oxygen levels will cause rapid spoilage of untreated food. You must maintain your tools meticulously. There are no replacement options, and each item is crucial for long-term survival. Document everything you observe. Understanding the primitive ecosystem's patterns will be key to your survival until rescue arrives. Create backup caches of supplies in different locations. Never keep all your survival gear in one place. Primitive disasters are unpredictable. Your immediate priority is finding a cave entrance. You have less than 20 minutes before the temperature drops dangerously low. Scan the rocky outcrops for dark openings. The earliest land plants provide little shelter, so natural cave systems are your best option. Test each cave entrance by tossing small rocks inside. If you hear skittering or unusual echoes, find a different location. You must check for cave stability before entering. Look for cracks in the ceiling and loose rocks that could indicate collapse risk. Once inside, move at least 20 feet from the entrance, but maintain visual contact with daylight. This provides maximum temperature protection. Your machete can be used to clear primitive vegetation from the cave mouth. Create a visible entrance while gathering plant material. You need to establish 3 survival zones: sleeping, fire pit, and food storage. Keep them at least 6 feet apart for safety. Build your fire pit where smoke can escape. Stack rocks in a U-shape to reflect heat back into your shelter space. Your fire starter is precious. Gather extensive tinder before attempting ignition. Early land plants are highly flammable when dry. Create a bed platform using flat rocks to insulate you from the cold ground. Layer it with dried vegetation under your blanket. You must locate water within the next hour. Look for limestone formations. They often indicate underground water sources. Test any water by letting it settle in a clear pool. If you see movement or cloudiness, find a different source. Use your paracord to create guidelines in the cave. Getting lost in tunnel systems is a lethal mistake. Mark your path with arrow scratches pointing toward the exit. Your machete blade can create visible markers on cave walls. Check for condensation on cave walls. This can be collected for emergency drinking water when other sources aren't available. You should establish a daily routine within 24 hours. Regular sleep and activity patterns help prevent psychological deterioration. Listen for flowing water sounds. Underground streams are your safest water source, but test temperature before drinking. Your whistle is crucial for rescue signaling. 3 short blasts is universal for emergency. Use it if you hear any unusual sounds. Create a calendar marking system on the cave wall. Maintaining time awareness is critical for psychological survival. Store gathered food away from your sleeping area. Early insects and primitive animals will be attracted to food smells. You must practice fire starting daily. Your survival depends on maintaining flame in this oxygen-rich but cold environment. Build small smoke fires during daylight hours. The unique atmospheric composition means signals will be visible for miles. Keep your tools within arm's reach while sleeping. The first predatory fish are evolving. Some may venture onto land. Your blanket should be your last layer of warmth. Use vegetation and cave insulation first to preserve its emergency value. Monitor your cave entrance for flooding signs. Primitive weather patterns were extreme and unpredictable. Create backup shelter locations within the first week. Natural disasters were common in this geologically active period. You should maintain a clean water storage system. Use hollow plant stems or rock depressions lined with your cleanest vegetation. Practice basic first aid daily. Check yourself for cuts, infections, and signs of exposure. Early bacteria were highly aggressive. Your machete blade must be kept sharp. Use hard rocks to maintain the edge. You'll need it for both tools and defense. Remember, panic kills faster than any physical threat. Maintain calm by focusing on improving your shelter system daily. Document your survival techniques on cave walls. Future rescue teams will need to understand your adaptation methods. Your fire should never go out completely. The energy cost of restarting in this environment is too high to risk. Keep moving to stay warm, but avoid sweating. Wet clothing in this climate will freeze quickly and dangerously. You must ration your remaining modern tools. Create primitive replacements before originals wear out or break. Learn the day-night cycle patterns. Early Earth rotated faster. Your circadian rhythm will need to adjust accordingly. You must establish a permanent shelter within the cave system before nightfall. The Silurian atmosphere contains less oxygen than you're used to, so minimize exertion. Search for a cave chamber with multiple exits. This provides escape routes if predators or flooding threaten your survival space. Your next priority is creating a sustainable food source. The primitive plants of this era are mostly mosses and early vascular plants like Cooksonia. Test any plant material by rubbing it on your skin first. Wait 30 minutes for reactions before putting tiny amounts in your mouth. You'll find most edible vegetation near water sources. Look for clusters of early plant life that resemble modern horsetails and ferns. The seas contain abundant primitive fish and arthropods. Fashion a spear from your machete and a straight branch to catch them in shallow waters. Your fire starter is precious. Use it sparingly. Create a dedicated fire pit away from sleeping areas to avoid deadly carbon monoxide buildup. Collect dry plant material daily for tinder. The primitive vegetation burns quickly, so you'll need large quantities stored in a dry section of cave. Water is your biggest challenge. Find an underground stream within the cave system, but boil all water for at least 10 minutes before drinking. Use your blanket to create a water collection system. Hang it at an angle to catch cave moisture and channel it into your containers. Fashion primitive tools from available materials. Sharp rocks can become cutting tools, while long bones make excellent scrapers and needles. You must maintain your modern tools carefully. Keep the machete dry and oiled with animal fat to prevent rust in the humid cave environment. Create distinct areas in your cave shelter: sleeping, food storage, tool making, and waste disposal. Organization increases survival chances. Mark your path when exploring the cave system. Use the paracord to create guidelines, preventing disorientation in the complex tunnels. The Silurian period experiences extreme temperature swings. Layer vegetation and animal hides to insulate your sleeping area. Beware of early scorpions and other arthropods. While not as large as later periods, their venom could still be deadly to humans. Monitor the cave entrance for weather changes. Sudden storms were common in this period and could lead to flash flooding. Keep your fire starter dry at all costs. Create a waterproof container from large leaves or animal bladders to protect it. Learn to read the primitive weather patterns. Cloud formations and wind changes follow similar principles to modern weather systems. Your whistle is crucial for navigation. Develop a system of echoes to map the cave system and find your way back to base camp. Exercise regularly but efficiently. The lower oxygen levels mean you must maintain fitness without overexerting yourself. Create backup caches of supplies in different cave chambers. Natural disasters or predators could force you to abandon your main shelter. Treat any cuts or scrapes immediately. The ancient bacteria in this period could be deadly to your modern immune system. Maintain a strict sleep schedule aligned with daylight. Regular rest patterns help prevent psychological stress and disorientation. Document your surroundings using charcoal drawings. Understanding the local ecosystem increases your chances of long-term survival. Practice fire starting skills daily. Your modern fire starter won't last forever, so master primitive methods while you have backup. Build elevated storage platforms using your paracord. Keep food and supplies away from primitive insects and cave moisture. Remember that no plants have flowers or fruits yet. Focus on collecting early spore-producing plants and primitive seaweeds for food. Your long-term survival depends on adapting to this alien environment. Study and mimic the successful survival strategies of local life. Use your machete to harvest tough plant stems. These can be woven into baskets and containers for food and supply storage. Notice your equipment displays beginning to flicker and dim. The quantum batteries are finally depleting after weeks of use. You must accept that rescue may never come. The temporal beacon has been silent for days, its power cells corroded by alien atmosphere. Gather what remaining supplies you have and take inventory. Even as systems fail, basic survival skills become more crucial than ever. Your makeshift cave shelter feels almost like home now. The ancient moss provides surprising warmth as temperatures continue to drop. Watch the strange constellations emerge each night, so different from what you knew. The unfamiliar patterns tell stories you'll never know. Remember to keep moving deeper into the cave system as winter approaches. The outer chambers are becoming dangerously cold. Your fire starter sparks weakly now, each flame more precious than the last. Conserve what little fuel remains for absolute emergencies. Listen to the eerie sounds of giant arthropods moving outside. Their chitinous legs scraping stone have become oddly comforting. Your machete blade has grown dull from constant use. Sharpen it one final time with the cave rocks you've learned to identify. Preserve your remaining paracord carefully. Each strand may mean the difference between life and death in the coming days. The blanket is wearing thin, but you've learned to supplement it with layers of dried vegetation and primitive weaving. Your cough is getting worse. The spores from unknown prehistoric plants have taken their toll on your lungs. Focus on what you've accomplished, surviving longer than anyone could have expected in this ancient world. The whistle remains your last connection to civilization. Its shrill call seems out of place among these primitive sounds. Your hands have grown calloused and strong, adapted to this harsh existence. They look like they belong to someone else now. Watch the primitive ferns unfurl each morning, their ancient genetic code unchanged for millions of years. You've learned to read the weather in ways you never imagined, understanding patterns lost to time. The cave paintings you made will likely outlast human civilization itself, telling your story to species yet to evolve. Your mind wanders to the future, your present, wondering if anyone will ever find these traces of your existence. Feel the peace that comes with complete acceptance. You are part of this world now, as ancient as the stones themselves. The last light fades from your equipment displays. Darkness embraces you like an old friend. Watch silently as the first snow of this ancient winter begins to fall, covering your footprints in crystalline white. Your breath mingles with the mist rising from the primordial forest. Soon you will be one with this timeless place. The stars wheel overhead in their eternal dance, unchanged since the dawn of time. Your story becomes part of their endless cycle. Close your eyes and listen to the pulse of this ancient earth. Its rhythms have become your own, eternal and unchanging.